All right, let's dive in. There's a massive, high-stakes race happening right now, mostly behind the scenes, and it's completely reshaping our digital world. It's a race for control, it's a race for security, and you could say it's a battle for the future of the internet itself.
And it all kicks off with this number, $80 billion. That's what the world is on track to spend on something called sovereign cloud infrastructure by 2026. So the big question is, what exactly is all that money buying?
Well, according to Gartner, it's buying one thing: independence. See, this isn't just some big IT project. Not at all. It's a direct reaction to the geopolitical tensions we're all seeing. Nations are pouring billions into shielding their digital economies and protecting their data from any kind of foreign influence. And make no mistake, this is happening everywhere. We're seeing countries all over the world starting to build what you might call digital walls. It's all driven by this deep-seated need for control and security in what feels like a more and more uncertain world. The core idea here, the big buzzword, is digital sovereignty. And what does that even mean? Well, the easiest way to think about it is like modern nation building, but for the digital age. It's a country's power to control its own digital territory, everything from the physical cables in the ground to the data that flows through them, and of course, the laws that govern it all. And this chart really breaks down where all that money is flowing. A couple of things just jump right out at you. First, look at China. I mean, the sheer scale of their investment is just staggering. They're spending more than North America and Europe combined. But then, check out Europe. See that massive jump? Their spending is set to nearly double in just 1 year. That tells you everything you need to know about their sense of urgency. So, how do you actually build this digital sovereignty? Well, a good way to picture it is like a pyramid. You've got to start with a solid base, right? And in this case, that base is the physical stuff, the actual tangible infrastructure. We're talking cables, cell towers, data centers, the whole shebang. A perfect example of this is what's happening in India. Their project called BharatNet is, well, it's just monumental. They're trying to connect their huge rural population, bridging that massive gap between the cities and the countryside. This is ground zero stuff, literally laying the foundation for everyone to get online. And when I say monumental, I really mean it. Just look at this number. As of early 2025, they've laid over 692,000 kilometers of optical fiber. To put that into perspective, you could wrap that cable around the entire planet more than 17 times. It's incredible. And hey, India's not alone in this. Not by a long shot. Let's hop over to Saudi Arabia. There, the Strut Group is in an all-out sprint to build out its own high-speed networks. For them, this physical infrastructure is the engine for their huge national plan, Vision 2030, which is all about diversifying their economy beyond oil. And this isn't just talk or some far-off goal. These are real numbers from a recent push. You've got 125,000 new homes hooked up with fiber, over 2,000 new spots with 5G coverage, another 1,100 kilometers of fiber in the ground. Every single one of these is a tangible step toward their sovereign digital future. Okay, so you've laid the foundation, you've got the cables in the ground. What's next? Well, now we move up the pyramid to the people and the economy. Because what's the point of having all this great infrastructure if nobody knows how to use it, right? You need skilled citizens and innovative businesses. And for this, Portugal is a fantastic case study. Portugal's national plan is super clear, broken down into 3 main pillars. First, upskill the population, get everybody digitally literate. Second, empower businesses, especially the smaller guys, to get online and compete. And third, modernize the government itself to make it way more efficient and accessible. It's a really smart, holistic approach. And yeah, they're backing this vision up with some serious cash. We're talking about a direct investment of around 350 million euros. That's the kind of money it takes to turn a strategy on paper into a digitally empowered reality for the whole country. And what's really cool is how deep they're thinking about this. Let's just zoom in on one initiative, the National Program for Girls in STEM. They're creating networks of professional ambassadors, awarding special badges, providing mentorship. This shows you it's not just about today's tech. It's a real, long-term investment in their people. Which brings us to the top of the pyramid. We've laid the cables, we've trained the people, and it all leads to this, the fight for control over the cloud. This is the most strategic, the most contested layer of them all. This is where a nation's data, its services, its entire digital economy ultimately lives. And to really get why this is such a fight, you just have to look at the battlefield. In Europe, the situation is stark.
A staggering 70% of the cloud market is controlled by US providers. European providers, they hold a mere 15%. And that massive imbalance is the driving force behind this entire sovereignty debate.
But here's the twist. Even inside Europe, they can't agree on how to fix it. You've basically got two competing camps. On one side, you have the risk-based approach, favored by places like the Netherlands and the Nordics. They're basically saying, hey, as long as it's technically secure, we don't really care who the provider is. But on the other side, you have the Eurostock approach, championed by France, which argues, nope, the only way to be truly sovereign is to use purely European technology. And this quote, wow, it's from Belgium's head of cybersecurity, and it really gets to the heart of the challenge. He says it was impossible to store data fully in Europe, precisely because US companies are so dominant. When you hear the word impossible from someone in that position, it just highlights the monumental task they're facing. So let's step back for a second. What does this all mean for the future? Well, we're seeing this multi-layered global effort to build digital nations from the ground up, from the physical cables to the human skills, all the way to those sovereign clouds at the very top. And the key takeaway is this. Digital sovereignty isn't just a niche tech policy anymore. It has become a core component of national power and statecraft in the 21st century. How a country manages its digital destiny is now just as important as how it manages its physical borders or its economy. Which leaves us with the final, really provocative question. Is this global race leading us toward a world of more secure, more resilient, and independent nations? Or are we heading toward a fragmented splinter net, a world of digital walls where data and ideas no longer flow freely? The answer to that is going to define the next chapter of our connected world.